Okay, rolling out for the game. Blankenship, Zendejo, Braden Smith, Teray, and Jordan Wilkins. I opened it up.
T.Y. Hilton back Sunday?
T.Y. today was T.Y.'s really first full practice. So, obviously because we had to walk through on Wednesday, then we had to jog through on Thursday, and then so today was his first practice. I thought he looked good. He was into it all week. I think we need to see how he comes out of this practice, and we'll probably make that decision tomorrow.
But it's not too quick. I mean, guys talk about practice a lot, how much they needed to play, but T.Y.'s always kind of been a different guy.
Yeah, I mean, considering his experience and his competitive, just who he is, his leadership, if there's anyone who can do it, it's him.
We haven't asked you, I don't think, about Clinton, and I know obviously he's going to miss this game, but has there been any progress there and seeing how he's eligible next week?
Yeah, very, very good progress. He's eligible next week. We're optimistic.
Right, one thing, and we'll get, I'm sure, back to the injuries, but one thing on kicking, and have you, with Sanchez, has he kicked, because he went out there and looked pretty good on the one he almost hit, but has he, for those instances, has he done enough work?
Yeah, obviously during practice, those guys work on their own, and they're doing a bunch of stuff. I mean, they put in a full day's work. So, he, doing a lot of kickoff stuff. I've never asked him how much field goal stuff he's doing. You don't anticipate those scenarios. I know he's got some good stuff on tape from college, from what I understand. He's a super tough, mentally tough guy. So I had zero flinch in me when it had to come to put him out there. So I watched Naheem hold a couple on the sideline. It looked all good. I was confident in the operation. So there was a point in time when I first got here where there was talk about, hey, he's so good, Rigo's so good, that if you ever needed to kick like a super long field goal, you might want to consider using him. Like, he was that good. So a lot of confidence in him just to step in there, even in the heat of the moment.
Frank, how's Kari Willis doing?
He's doing better. He's doing better. Made some good progress this week. Last week he was limited as far as number of plays and the whole deal. But he's gotten better. I don't know. He's not 100%, but he's gotten better this week.
Frank, you mentioned that you talked to Matt earlier in the week just about the defense and everything. Is this something where you guys are trying to fix things or just do things better, if that makes sense? Like, are you trying to?
Well, no, yeah, absolutely. Well, first of all, I talk to him every week, and Bubba.
Any more this week than normal?
No, not really. We talk quite a bit. Summary of the game, plan for the week. We have a staff meeting every morning, and I usually ask the coordinators to kind of sum up the day from their side of the ball. So we're always, I know this is going to sound like, okay, Coach, we know this already, but we're trying to get better. We really are in all three phases, tweaking things, doing the same things we do better, looking for different things that we can do to help our players. There's not going to be any major changes in any systems at this point. You know what I mean? We feel very confident in our schemes and our systems, but we are looking to play them better all the time, and we're always looking to nuance them in ways that help the players.
How much of your guys' defensive scheme, like any in this league right now against these quarterbacks, how much have you guys spent talking about pass rush? And not specifically just the ends, like, if you don't do that, you're not going to win.
Right, yeah, no, I mean, absolutely. We talk about pass rush all the time. Four-man pass rush, pressures, what we're trying to accomplish there. What are we trying to do in our four-man pass rush? What's our philosophy there? Every one of those things gets talked about in detail. Every one of those things gets schematically played out. Like, what's the best, do we want to do a lot of games this week? Do we not want to do a lot of games? Right? How much pressure? What stunts do you want to bring? Are we bringing new pressures? Are we just going to run the same? Which pressures work best? Zone pressures, man pressures. I think the defensive staff goes through that whole menu, just like the offense does. We have our inventory, right? And every week you start the game, you see who you're playing, you know what you want to do, what you feel for the game, and then you match it up against them, and it's that combination of things that we do every week.
Frank, there's been a lot of news off the field this week in the league that doesn't necessarily concern your team, and I don't necessarily want you to comment on that in and of itself, but I'm wondering, and we all know what happened, we all heard about it, I'm wondering two things. Number one, is this something that you guys talked about, you staff and players? I don't even know. That's number one. And then number two, do you have any thoughts on like what we can learn from this, what the league can learn from this maybe?
You're talking about what happened with the, yeah, yeah.
And so forth.
I did talk about it with our Player Leadership Council. Those guys, I didn't talk about it to the whole team. I thought if I talked about it with the Leadership Council, I thought that was the appropriate move. So it wasn't a long conversation. We just talked about principally, how we, how we feel about things, how we feel that, we want to take the high road and we want to do the right thing. Our mission statement talks about winning the right way, and that means treating everyone with dignity and respect. That means allowing for the differences that we have, but we can still believe in what we believe in as a team and try to do the right thing and make a difference. And so our guys, as you know, our guys live and breathe that stuff. So proud to work for an organization that feels that way, proud to work for an owner that feels that way and has stood for that his whole life. We're gonna keep trekking along that road about doing things, winning the right way. So we gotta concentrate on the winning part. I think we're doing the right way part. Now we got to get the winning part down.
And just a quick follow would just be like, you've worked in other places. I mean, has it been your experience like that is the prevalent feeling around the league?
It really is. I think the league is very, I don't know if this is the right word, but progressive in a good way. Understanding the impact, understanding the platform the NFL has. I think the league has done a great job. Players have done a great job. Owners, the whole deal. I mean, we all get it. We all get it. This is a huge platform. We have an opportunity to give back. Some ways you give back, you go out and reach out in the community. Some ways you just do it by setting the right example for the kind of person that the kind of person, the kind of organization you want to be. So I think that's a big deal.
Frank, just so I'm clear with T.Y., you're going to meet and have the discussions. The neck is not an issue. I mean, from what he said earlier, the neck's not an issue. It's all the football stuff, conditioning and all that.
Correct. Yeah. No, I mean, my understanding is that, hey, when this is healed, it's healed. There's no concerns. That's, again, above my pay grade, but the doctors give the clearance and they say, oh, he's ready to go. So, and there's no, that was my question at the beginning of the week. Hey, if he physically is ready come Sunday, do we need to limit him as far as number of reps? And, the answer is, no. The answer, you don't have to limit him. It's just based on how you feel where he's at physically. So, I mean, T.Y., he's taking good care of himself. He works hard. I mean, that guy works hard. He's in shape. He stays in shape. He does everything possible to help this team. And so I feel good about where he's at. I just we'll check with him tomorrow, but I'm cautiously optimistic.
But, I mean, he thought about retirement. What was that like, and how did you process that?
Yeah, well, I'm glad he didn't talk to me about that. But I would, not that I would have had any say in it, but I said, no, not yet. We got some business to take care of this year. And so I think that's a normal thing to go through. I know as an ex-player, I can relate to it a little bit. You get to that stage in your career where he knows he's closer to the end than the beginning. There's no doubt about that. But so you get an injury like that, but I think a lot of that is just mentally going. It's a neck injury, so you got to get past that. That's that. Once you can get past the mental part of that neck injury thing, I think that was the key. And again, I don't know. You'd have to ask T.Y. in more detail, but I'm sure glad that he didn't do that.
Are you okay with Jordan Wilkins? I mean, just vaguely, I don't know how.
Yeah, no, he's making good progress. He's making good progress. The last few days, he's made good progress. Hopefully, we'll get him back soon.
With T.Y., he's not going to show up on the participation report because he's IR. would he have been limited, full? What was his role today?
Well, because he wasn't going to show up, I don't have to worry about, I don't have to worry about that.
I appreciate the honesty. So at the very least, he was limited. I'm not asking for like 80%, but was he participated in practice today?
Yes, he did. And he looked good. And he looked good.